and I'm just checking that my camera is actually working on my phone. I do apologise for the background. This is me. When people say, you know, you don't live with mental health, I've had that a lot in 2024 when I started blogging more about what it was like living with mental health, the struggles of trying to obviously claim benefits, because literally the whole benefit system in the United Kingdom has changed. And obviously my main thing, I'm living with bile acid malabsorption, which I've now been formally diagnosed with having whilst taking care of my son with autism. Now, a lot of the things obviously you can see behind me, they are old tech, and they're not all mine. I recently helped a friend who moved house due to mental health reasons, and they didn't want to take anything with them. So they literally said to me, clear the house for me, and whatever you want to keep, whatever you want to sell, and whatever you want to donate. So I'm still painstakingly going through stuff. Obviously, that's not just mine, but obviously somebody else's. And it's a good job I did, to be honest, because they literally left stuff that could have potentially have allowed somebody to commit identity theft and fraud. And this is the seriousness of mental health issues. So many people that suffer with mental health, they do it in silence. Half the time they don't even know how sick they are. And for this person, whom obviously I've known for 8 years, to entrust me and to basically say, you know, here is my life, I want you to take it. Not take it as in kill them or anything like that, but all of the obviously materialistic possessions that we accumulate in our lives because of society and because of the way that we are kind of I don't really want to use the word brainwashed, but I suppose we could use the word brainwashed in today's society. To me, like, you've got to have the latest phone, you've got to have the latest fashion, you've got to have the latest car, that we get so bogged down with all of this stuff because of the pressure of society that we forget our basic needs. And the basic needs are food, warmth, and obviously the basic needs that anyone needs to survive is food, warmth, shelter, and to be mentally and physically well. And obviously being financially stable will help with these things. And also society, community, family, whatever you want to call it, support from where you live. But unfortunately, in today's society, we are so tunnel visioned into only looking after ourselves, because living in today's society has become so hard that for those people that can donate their time or, you know, give back to society, that do that are people that have been lucky enough in a way to have like extra time on their hands to volunteer or donate or support people. And as silly as it sounds, people might say, oh, you know, you may only have to do something for like 5 or 10 minutes, but some people don't have that 5 or 10 minutes in their life, or aren't physically or emotionally or mentally capable. And another thing that happened just before Christmas is a friend of mine died. I don't know the circumstances around their death. And they were actually younger than me. I mean, I'm 41. And when I got told, I just was like, even now, I don't have the words to describe how I feel. And I think, you know, in 2025, something has got to give. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up hearing more and more and more about people that I know in my life, or, you know, have been a bit estranged over the years, who have passed away for whatever reason. Now, to be able to reach the age of 40 and over and still be alive in today's society might seem like a normal thing. But again, I have had people who are younger than me pass away in the 40 years of my life that I have lived. And so when you think about it, you know, you don't know how much time you've got in this world. And although, yes, you do have to look after yourself, sometimes in order to do that, people do need help. And so obviously this background will change over the year, and I will try and film here so that people can actually see that I am genuinely, you know, decluttering my life. I'm trying to get rid of people's things that I've hoarded for them, because obviously I didn't want to just throw them into landfill. And it is really, really hard, but this little part of the house is kind of like mine, and it's trying to make it more friendlier for my son with autism. But again, you know, he's very busy, he's very active, and there's things I've had to keep, as silly as it sounds, to help him with his own mental health and well-being, and to be able to cope with society. So when people have said to me, why have you got a giant box of bubble wrap? And I'm like, well, when my son gets angry and frustrated, I will put the bubble wrap on the floor and he can jump on it and pop it and scream and dance, do a little happy dance. Woo. Otherwise, if I don't do that, he would trash the house. He would throw books on the floor, he'd rip them up, he would scream, he may even self-harm. But we've been really lucky over the years, he has grown out of that. But so many people with severe disabilities or mental health issues do end up potentially self-harming. So whatever I can do to distract him and kind of pull him out of that moment of self-destruction. So to other people, they would think, oh my God, your house is absolutely insane. How can you live here? You know, I couldn't cope in this environment. It's too busy. It's too mental. And I totally agree, but this is my home. I'm not expecting anyone else to live here. And with my son, he needs a safe space too. So if sticking bubble wrap all over the floor, or having paper that I'm happy for him to rip up or tear, or having a beanbag, or, you know, something sensory that he can physically destroy, but I don't feel is bad that is happening, because he's not hurting himself or somebody else, then that is what I've obviously tried to do and work with him over the last 9 years. So this is obviously, like I said, the first video that I have done on the 5th of January to kind of focus more on mental health, community, and how, you know, so many people out there do suffer in silence. And I think, now is the time that people really need to start sitting up and paying attention. It's all good and well, throwing money at all of these so-called charities that are there to apparently help and support people. But take it from me, a lot of these charities don't do anything because they cannot cope with the sheer capacity of people that need their help. They're also very demographically funded. So for that reason, they may or may not only be able to help people depending on where you live. So I'm not saying I haven't had help and support over the years from certain charities, but there's nothing more important, I think, than awareness within the community, and for people to maybe be a little bit more educated, so that they do feel they are seeing the signs of someone that potentially is. So if they do feel they're seeing the signs of someone who is potentially struggling with any illness or disability, I know we don't like to ask, but, even if it's just something like, hey, do you want to meet up for a cup of tea? And then maybe that person will talk to you. Or sending a text. Phoning people isn't always the best way to go about it. But, we have so many ways of communicating. Within society now, we have so many ways of communicating, yet we just don't seem to use them effectively or efficiently. We're more than happy to post stuff on social media, like cats dancing, or, how to press fern leaves. And then people are happy to watch that sort of thing. But when it comes to things like mental health and well-being, it's still a really, really taboo subject. And that needs to change. And the only way that's going to change is by one person at a time. So it has snowed. So if you can stay safe, stay warm, stay well, please do so. And anyone whose children are going back to school next week, make sure again that you get everything ready, which is what I'll be doing for my other two, and just take care of you. And if anyone wants to make any comments on this video, please feel free to do so. But again, anything rude, disrespectful, verbally abusive, or aggressive to myself or anyone else will be removed. So, thank you.